Since when does work need a secret phone, Laura?
The words hang in the empty house. Hank stands in their bedroom on a Tuesday morning, holding the oilcloth bundle he just pried from under the loose pine floorboard. The phone inside buzzes. A missed call from M. Keen. A text below it reads, "Move it tonight." His pulse hammers. Laura left for her shift at the county health department 2 hours ago. "Extra shifts," she said. "Covering for someone sick." Always someone sick lately. The screen dims. Hank wraps it back up, hands shaking. 28 years of marriage. And he didn't know there was a second phone. He didn't know there was space under this floor. Tires crunch on gravel outside. Early. Too early. Laura's sedan pulls into the driveway. Why is she home now? Before we begin, if you could tap subscribe and like, it would mean so much to me. And if you don't mind, please leave a comment letting me know where you're listening from. May health and happiness find their way to you right where you are. All right then, let's begin today's story. Chapter 2, 28 Years. Hank slides the phone back under the floorboard and hammers the plank down. His ears ring with his own heartbeat. Each strike of the hammer sounds too loud in the quiet house. Laura walks in carrying grocery bags. Her face is calm. Too calm, like she practiced it in the car. "You're home early," Hank says. "Slow day. They sent me home." She sets the bags on the kitchen counter. "What were you fixing?" "Squeaky board." His voice sounds hollow even to himself. "Driving me crazy all week." She nods and starts unpacking milk, bread, eggs. The same groceries she always buys. The same routine they've followed for 28 years. She puts the milk in the fridge door. The bread in the wooden box on the counter. The eggs in the ceramic holder shaped like a chicken that her mother gave them. Hank watches her move through the kitchen. They married young. He was 22 and installing floors in new subdivisions going up near Sandusky. She was 20, working the front desk at a dental clinic. They met at a bowling alley on league night. She beat him by 30 pins. He asked her out in the parking lot under the buzzing neon sign. They built this house with his own hands when she was pregnant with their son. He remembers laying every board in this floor. Oak planks he got cheap from a supplier who owed him a favor. Laura painted the walls yellow because she read it made babies happy. They raised 2 kids who now live in Cleveland and call once a month if Hank's lucky. Their son works in IT. Their daughter manages a coffee shop. Both of them got out of this town the first chance they had. Somewhere along the way, Hank and Laura stopped talking about anything that mattered. Bills got paid. Meals got cooked. The silence grew comfortable. Not cold, just empty. Like a room with all the furniture but no one sitting in it. They watched the news together. They went to church on Christmas and Easter. They split a newspaper over breakfast. That was enough. Until 3 months ago. That's when the extra shifts started. Laura worked at the county health department for 15 years. Steady hours. Home by 5:30 every weekday. She filed paperwork, answered phones, scheduled food safety inspections at restaurants. Boring work, she said. Safe work. Good benefits. Then a kid named Tyler Brennan died of an overdose in his parents' basement. Hank knew the family. He'd refinished their kitchen floor 8 years ago. Tyler was 14. Quiet kid. Played saxophone in the school band. The funeral packed the Methodist church on a gray Tuesday morning. People cried in the parking lot. The pastor ran out of things to say. Tyler's mother collapsed at the graveside. The town felt smaller after that. Scared. Parents started locking medicine cabinets. The high school brought in a counselor. The diner stopped playing music for a week. A week after the funeral, Laura started staying late. Covering for co-workers, she said. Someone called in sick. Someone's kid had a doctor's appointment. Someone needed help with a backlog of permit applications. She worked weekends. She came home tired, distracted. She stopped asking Hank about his day, stopped laughing at his jokes, stopped sitting with him on the porch in the evenings. He believed her because he always believed her. That night, Hank waits until Laura is asleep. He lies still for an hour, listening to her breathe. When he's sure, he slips out of bed. The floor doesn't creak. He built it too well for that. He goes to the bedroom closet and kneels by the floorboard. Pulls it up slow. The nails whine. He lifts out the phone. The oilcloth smells like machine oil and dust, like his toolbox. The screen asks for a passcode. 4 digits. He tries their anniversary. Month and day. Wrong. He tries their son's birthday. Wrong. Their daughter's birthday. Wrong. The year they bought the house. Wrong. The zip code. Wrong. 5 failed attempts. The phone locks him out for 5 minutes. Hank sits on the floor with his back against the bed. He feels like a stranger in his own marriage. Like Laura has a whole life he can't access. Like he's been replaced by someone who knows the right numbers. Someone who matters more. He thinks about the text message. Move it tonight. Move what? Where? Who is M? Keen? The phone unlocks. He tries the address of their first apartment. The little place above the hardware store downtown. Wrong. He tries Laura's mother's birthday. Wrong. He tries the year his father died. Wrong. He tries the number of this house. Wrong. Locked out again. 5 more minutes. He looks at his hands in the dim glow of the screen. Scarred knuckles. Calluses that never fade. A white ridge across his right palm from a chisel slip when he was 25. These hands built floors in half the town. Laura used to trace the scars on quiet Sunday mornings. She'd press her thumb into the white ridge and ask him how he got it. Every time he'd tell the story different. Made her laugh. When did she stop touching him? When did he stop making her laugh? When did they become 2 people living in the same house instead of 2 people living a life? Hank hears the bathroom door open down the hall. Footsteps. Light. Water running. He shoves the phone back under the board. Fumbles the plank into place. The nails don't seat right, but there's no time. He gets into bed and closes his eyes. Forces his breathing slow. Laura climbs in beside him. The mattress dips. She doesn't reach for him. Doesn't say anything. Her breathing is too controlled. Too careful. She's trying to sound asleep. In the dark, Hank opens his eyes. Moonlight slices through the blinds in thin white bars. He turns his head just enough to see her. She's lying on her back, staring at the ceiling. Her wrist is resting on top of the blanket. Fresh bruises, purple and yellow, finger-shaped. 4 marks on the inside of her wrist, like someone grabbed her hard. Recently. Laura, he whispers. She doesn't answer. Her breathing stays slow and even. Fake sleep. But Hank knows she heard him. He stares at the ceiling. The house creaks. Wind pushes against the windows. Lake effect weather rolling in off Erie. The kind of cold that gets into your bones and stays all winter. He thinks about the Tyler Brennan funeral. How Laura stood in the back of the church and didn't sit down. How she watched the casket like she was memorizing it. How she left before the service ended. How she came home and locked herself in the bathroom for an hour. When she came out, her eyes were red. He thinks about the bruises. He thinks about the phone under the floor. And he realizes he's been living with a stranger for 3 months. Maybe longer. Maybe years. Where did those bruises come from? Chapter 3. The Marina Lot. Hank wakes up before dawn. Laura is already gone. Her side of the bed is cold. He finds a note on the kitchen counter. Early shift. Home late. Leftovers in fridge. Hank crumples the note. Gets dressed. Grabs his truck keys. He's never followed his wife before. Never had a reason to. Now he can't think of a reason not to. The county health department sits in a low brick building off Route 6. Hank parks across the street at the empty lot, where the old lumber yard used to be. He kills the engine. Waits. Laura's sedan is not in the parking lot. He checks his watch. 7:45. Her shift started at 7. He waits another hour, coffee going cold in the cup holder, his back aching against the seat. A FedEx truck pulls in. A woman in a puffy coat walks to the door. Not Laura. At 9, Hank starts the engine and drives slow through town. Past the diner, past the shuttered pharmacy, past the high school where the flag snaps in the wind. He spots her car parked outside the post office. She's inside at the counter, mailing something. A small padded envelope. Hank pulls into the gas station across the street. Watches through the window. Laura comes out, checks her phone, gets back in her car. She doesn't drive back to the health department. She turns left on Main, heads north toward the lake. Hank follows, keeps 2 cars between them. His hands grip the wheel too tight. His chest feels like a fist is squeezing it. Laura drives past the marina entrance, keeps going on the access road that dead ends at the old boat launch. It's closed for winter. The gate is supposed to be locked. It's open. Laura drives through. Hank stops at the gate. Waits 30 seconds. Follows. The access road is potholed and cracked. Weeds poke through the asphalt. On both sides, chain-link fence sags under dead vines. Beyond the fence, the lake stretches flat and gray. Ice forms a white crust along the shore. The wind off the water cuts through everything. Laura parks at the far end of the lot. Empty boat trailers sit chained to posts. A metal storage shed with rust bleeding down the sides. No one around. Hank parks behind a maintenance shed 50 yards back. Turns off the engine. Grabs his phone. A car pulls in through the gate. A plain sedan. Dark blue or black? Hank can't tell in the flat winter light. The car parks next to Laura's. A man gets out. Tall. 50s maybe. Wearing a long dark coat. No hat. His hair is short. Military short. Laura gets out of her car. She doesn't smile. Doesn't hug him. No kiss. No warmth. Just urgency. They stand close, talking fast. The man's hands move like he's explaining something. Laura shakes her head. He leans in, says something that makes her stiffen. Hank lifts his phone, zooms the camera as far as it goes. The image shakes. He steadies his hand against the steering wheel. The man's coat blows open for a second. A badge, clipped to his belt. Metal catching the light. Then the coat falls closed. Hank's stomach drops. A cop. Or a fed. Or something official. Meeting his wife in a frozen parking lot where no one can see them. He takes 3 photos. The man's face is blurry but visible. Laura's back is to him. The conversation lasts maybe 5 minutes. The man hands Laura something, a folded piece of paper. She puts it in her coat pocket without looking at it. He says something else. She nods. Gets back in her car. The man watches her drive away. Then he turns and looks straight at Hank's truck. Hank freezes. The man doesn't move, just stands there, staring, like he knew Hank was there the whole time. Then the man gets in his sedan and drives out the way he came. Hank sits in the silence. His breath fogs the windshield. His hands are numb. He looks at the photos on his phone. The man's face. The badge. Laura's tense shoulders. He zooms in on the man's coat. The badge is just a blur of silver. He can't read it. Can't tell what agency. But it's real. It's there. Hank's phone buzzes. A text from Laura. Picking up dinner. Be home by 6. He stares at the message. She just lied to him. Again, she's not at work. She's not picking up dinner. She's doing something she can't tell him about. He starts the truck. Backs out slow. Drives to the gate. As he turns onto the access road, he checks the rearview mirror. Laura's car is still there, parked at the far end of the empty lot. She didn't leave. She waited until Hank drove past. Then she pulled back in. She knew. Hank's throat goes dry. He drives back toward town, hands shaking on the wheel, mind racing. Laura looked straight at his truck. She had to. She knew he was there. She let him see the meeting, or the man wanted him to see it. Hank doesn't know which is worse. He pulls into the lot behind the VFW hall, sits there with the engine running, trying to make sense of it. A badge, a secret meeting, bruises on her wrist, a hidden phone with a message that said, "Move it tonight." Either Laura is in trouble, or Laura is the trouble. Did she just catch him spying? Chapter 4, The Map. Hank sits in the VFW parking lot for 20 minutes. Then he drives to the hardware store and buys a pry bar he doesn't need. Drives to the grocery store and buys milk they already have. Killing time. Staying out of the house. He can't stop thinking about the badge. A cop. Meeting Laura in secret. Handing her something. Watching her like a handler watches an asset. Or like a lover watches someone he owns. Hank's gut twists. He doesn't want to think about that second option. But he can't stop. 28 years of marriage. 2 kids. A house built with his own hands. All of it crumbling because his wife has a secret phone and meets men in empty parking lots. By 4, he can't take it anymore. He drives to the VFW hall, goes inside, orders a beer he won't finish. Rick Donnelly is at the bar, retired cop. Hank's known him for 15 years. They bowl in the same league. Rick waves him over. "You look like hell," Rick says. "Long week?" Hank sits. Spins the beer bottle on the sticky counter. "Yeah? What's eating you?" Hank hesitates. He shouldn't talk about this. Shouldn't drag anyone else into it. But the words come out anyway. If someone you trusted was hiding something, would you want to know? Rick leans back, studies Hank's face. "Depends. What kind of something?" "I don't know." That's the problem. "This about Laura?" Hank doesn't answer. He doesn't have to. Rick nods slow. "Women get restless sometimes. Happens. You've been married a long time. Maybe she just needs space." "Space?" Hank's voice is harder than he means it to be. "What kind of space requires a second phone?" Rick goes still. "Second phone?" Hank realizes he said too much. But it's out now. Found it under the floorboards. Rick sets his beer down. "Hank, listen to me. You need to be real careful here. You start digging into someone's private business, you might not like what you find. So I just ignore it? I'm saying think hard before you blow up your life. Maybe there's a good reason she's keeping something private. Maybe it's got nothing to do with you." Bruises on her wrist. Secret meetings. Texts that say, "Move it tonight." "That's got nothing to do with me?" Rick's face changes. Something flickers behind his eyes. Not surprise, something else. "You saw her meeting someone?" "This morning, Marina Lot. Guy with a badge." Rick goes quiet. Too quiet. He picks up his beer, drinks, sets it down. "Badge? Cop badge. Or Fed?" "I don't know." Rick nods. "Could be anything. Health department probably works with law enforcement on stuff. Regulations. Inspections. At a closed marina in the middle of nowhere?" "Hank." Rick's voice drops. "Let it go. You're gonna drive yourself crazy." But Hank hears something in Rick's tone. Something too smooth. Too practiced. Like Rick already knew about the badge. Like this isn't news. "You know something," Hank says. "I don't know anything." Rick stands. Throws cash on the bar. "I'm just saying be careful. People who go looking for trouble usually find it. I gotta run. Dentist appointment." He walks out before Hank can say anything else. Hank sits alone at the bar. Finishes his beer. Thinks about the way Rick reacted. Too helpful. Too fast. Offering advice Hank didn't ask for. He drives home. Laura's car is in the driveway. Lights on inside. He finds her in the kitchen making spaghetti. The same meal she's made every Wednesday for 20 years. "Hey," she says. Doesn't look up from the stove. "Hey." They eat in silence. Hank watches her hands. The bruises on her wrist are fading to green. She keeps her sleeves pulled down. After dinner, Laura takes a shower. Hank hears the water running. He goes to her home office, a tiny room off the hallway that used to be a closet. She keeps bills and files in there. Her laptop. A printer. He opens the desk drawer. Pens? Sticky notes. Checkbook. Nothing. He opens the file cabinet. Tax returns. Insurance papers. Mortgage documents. Normal stuff. Then he sees it. A folded sheet of paper tucked behind the hanging files. He pulls it out. Unfolds it. A printed map. Satellite view. The harbor warehouses on the east side of town. Someone drew red circles around 3 buildings. Dates written in pen. 2 weeks ago. Last week. Yesterday. Hank stares at the map. His pulse hammers in his ears. Why does Laura have a map of the warehouses? Why mark the dates? The shower turns off upstairs. Hank folds the map. Shoves it in his pocket. Closes the file cabinet. Leaves the office. He's halfway down the hall when something hits the kitchen window. Hard. Glass cracks but doesn't break. Hank runs to the kitchen. The window has a spiderweb fracture. On the floor below it, a rock the size of a fist wrapped in paper. He picks it up. Unfolds the paper. 3 words in block letters. Put it back. Hank looks out the window. The driveway is empty. The street is dark. No one there. Laura comes downstairs in her bathrobe. Hair wet. What was that noise? Hank holds up the rock. The note. Her face goes white. "Hank," she whispers. "What did you do? Who knows about the phone?" Chapter 5. The address. Laura grabs the note from Hank's hand. Reads it. Her jaw tightens. "You found it," she says. Not a question. A statement. "The phone?" "Yeah, I found it." Hank's voice is shaking. Who threw that rock? I don't know. Don't lie to me. Laura's eyes flash. I'm not lying. I don't know who threw it. But I know why. You need to put it back, Hank. Right now. Put what back? The phone? Yes. Why? Because it's not yours. It's in our house. Under our floor. That makes it mine. Laura steps closer. Her face is hard. Scared. You don't understand what you're involved in. Then explain it to me. I can't. Can't or won't? Both. She turns away. Walks to the sink. Grips the edge of the counter. Just put it back. Please. Hank stares at her. At the bruises on her wrist. At the tension in her shoulders. At the way she won't look at him. Who is M? Keen? He asks. Laura freezes. How do you know that name? It's in the phone. There's a text. Move it tonight. Who is he? Hank, stop! Who grabbed your wrist hard enough to leave bruises? Stop! Why do you have a map of the harbor warehouses in your office? Laura spins around. Her face is pale. You went through my things? You hid a phone under our floor. I think we're past privacy. Get out! What? Get out of this kitchen. Get out of my office. Stay out of my business. Her voice cracks. You don't know what you're doing. You're going to get hurt. Hurt by who? The guy with the badge? Rick? The person who threw that rock? All of them. Laura's eyes are wet. Everyone! You're making yourself a target, and you don't even know it. Put the phone back. Forget you saw it. Go back to fixing floors and watching TV and let this go. Let what go? She doesn't answer. Just walks past him. Up the stairs. A door slams. Hank stands in the kitchen. The cracked window. The rock on the floor. The note in his hand. He goes to the bedroom. Laura has locked the door. He pulls up the floorboard. Takes out the phone. The oilcloth feels heavier now. Like it weighs more than it should. He unwraps it. Stares at the screen. 4-digit passcode. He's tried everything. Anniversaries. Birthdays. Years. Addresses. Then he thinks about what Laura said. It's not yours. He tries the address of this house. The street number. 4 digits. The phone unlocks. Hank's breath catches. Inside, the home screen is almost empty. No apps except the basic ones. Messages. Phone. Photos. Voice memos. He opens messages. 3 contacts. M. Keen. A number labeled dispatch. A number with no name. The texts from M. Keen are short. Meeting times. Locations. Code words Hank doesn't understand. The most recent says, move it tonight. They're watching. Hank opens photos. Dozens of images. Pill bottles. Orange prescription labels with names blacked out. Shipping labels. Addresses of clinics and pharmacies. A photo of a warehouse floor. Concrete. Stained. Hank recognizes the stain pattern. He installed that floor 6 years ago. The warehouse on Pier Road. He opens voice memos. 1 file. Dated 3 weeks ago. He presses play. Laura's voice. Whisper quiet. Shaking. If Hank finds this, I'm sorry. I couldn't tell you. They said if I told anyone, they'd make sure you got hurt. I thought I could handle it alone. I thought I could keep you safe. I was wrong. If you're hearing this, it means something went bad. Go to M. Keen. Tell him I tried. Tell him I'm sorry. The recording ends. Hank plays it again. And again. Laura's voice. Scared. Apologizing. She's not having an affair. She's in danger. And someone is using him to get to her. Footsteps creak in the hallway outside the bedroom. Slow. Deliberate. Hank looks at the locked bedroom door. Laura is inside. The footsteps are in the hall. Someone else is in the house. The doorknob turns. Rattles. The lock holds. Hank doesn't breathe. The phone is in his hand. The voice memo still open. Laura's voice still echoing in his head. The footsteps move away. Down the hall. Down the stairs. The front door opens. Closes. Hank waits. Counts to 60. Unlocks the bedroom door. Checks the hall. Empty. He runs downstairs. The front door is closed, but not locked. He locks it. Checks every window. Every door. No one there. But someone was. Someone walked into their house at 2 in the morning. Someone who wanted that phone. Hank goes back upstairs. Knocks on the bedroom door. Laura. Open up. No answer. I know you're not having an affair. I know you're scared. I heard the voice memo. Whatever this is, we deal with it together. Open the door. Silence. Then the lock clicks. The door opens. Laura stands there, eyes red, face streaked with tears. You cracked the phone, she says. Our address? You used our address. She nods. I thought you'd never guess. I thought it'd be safe. Someone was just in the house. Her face goes pale. Did you see them? No. They left when I locked the bedroom door. We have to go. Right now. Go where? Anywhere but here. Laura grabs her purse. Her coat. Bring the phone. Don't leave it behind. Laura, what's on that phone? She looks at him, and for the first time in 3 months, she tells him the truth. Proof. Names. Evidence. Enough to take down half the county. And the people who want it back will kill both of us to get it. Who's inside the house? Chapter 6, The Sheriff's Smile. Hank grabs his truck keys. Laura follows him out the back door into the cold. Lake-effect snow falls in heavy flakes. The kind that sticks and doesn't melt. Where are we going? Hank asks. I don't know. Just drive. They get in the truck. Hank starts the engine, pulls out of the driveway with the headlights off, turns them on once they hit the street. Laura sits rigid in the passenger seat, staring at the side mirror. Anyone following us? Hank asks. I don't think so. Hank drives to the 24-hour gas station on Route 6. Parks under the bright lights where anyone can see them. Safety and visibility. Laura wraps her arms around herself. We can't stay here. We can't go home. Someone broke in. I know. Who? Laura. Who's after this phone? She closes her eyes. Pills. Prescription opioids. Being diverted from clinics and pharmacies. Sold on the street. Tyler Brennan didn't get those drugs from a dealer. He got them from a system that's supposed to protect people. Hank stares at her. And you have proof? On that phone. Photos. Shipping records. Names. The health department started an audit 3 months ago. I got pulled in because I have access to pharmacy inspection files. I found patterns. Discrepancies. Clinics ordering 10 times what they should need. I reported it. Then Keene contacted me. Who is he? State investigator. He asked me to keep records. Document everything. He said local law enforcement couldn't be trusted. The bruises on your wrist. Who did that? Laura looks away. Someone followed me after a meeting. Grabbed me in the parking lot. Told me to stop asking questions. I didn't see his face. Hank's hands tighten on the wheel. We're going to the sheriff. No, Laura. Someone broke into our house. The sheriff can't help. Keene said there's a leak. Someone inside is part of it. Then we go over their heads. State police. FBI? With what? The phone's locked to me. And if we hand it over, we lose control. We become targets with no leverage. The truck idles. Snow piles on the windshield. Hank pulls out of the gas station. Drives toward downtown. Laura doesn't ask where they're going. The sheriff's office sits in a squat brick building next to the courthouse. Hank parks in front. Leaves the engine running. I'm reporting the break-in, he says. We don't mention the phone. Someone broke into our house. That's a crime. They have to take a report. Laura's face is tight. This is a mistake. Staying in the truck is a bigger one. Inside, a deputy behind bulletproof glass takes their names. Makes a call. 5 minutes later, Sheriff Dale Mercer walks into the lobby. Mercer is 52. Big smile, bigger handshake. He's been sheriff for 8 years. Ran unopposed the last 2 elections. Everyone in town knows him. Everyone likes him. Hank Walker, Mercer says. Haven't seen you in a while. Laura. You folks okay? Someone broke into our house tonight, Hank says. Mercer's smile doesn't fade. Anyone hurt? No. They left before we saw them. Anything stolen? No. Damage? Broken window. That's it. Mercer nods. Probably kids. We've had a few reports this month. Empty houses. Vacation places. Kids looking for copper wire or tools to sell. You surprised them, they ran. Happens. This wasn't kids, Laura says. Her voice is flat. Mercer looks at her. Why do you say that? They walked through our house. Up the stairs. Tried the bedroom door. Kids don't do that. Sure they do. Kids are bold these days. Mercer's tone is friendly. Dismissive. I'll have a deputy swing by tomorrow. Take photos. Dust for prints. But between you and me, we probably won't find anything. Get that window fixed. Lock your doors. Maybe think about a security system. This is a safe town, but you can't be too careful. Hank feels the words slide past him like oil on water. Mercer isn't taking this seriously. Someone threw a rock through our window earlier tonight, Hank says, with a note, threatening us. Mercer's smile tightens. Just a little. Threatening how? Told us to put something back. Put what back? Hank hesitates. I don't know. That's what the note said. Mercer nods slow. You still have it? The note? At home. Bring it by tomorrow. We'll take a look. But Hank, if someone's playing pranks on you, best thing you can do is ignore it. Don't give them the satisfaction. Laura's hand finds Hank's arm. Squeezes. A warning. Thanks, Sheriff, Hank says. They leave. Get back in the truck. Hank drives in silence. Mercer's smile burned into his brain. Too friendly. Too smooth. He pulls into a McDonald's parking lot. Leaves the truck running. Takes out the hidden phone. What are you doing? Laura asks. Checking something. He opens the contacts. Keen. Dispatch. And a third number labeled Maintenance. Hank dials the number on his own phone. Puts it on speaker. It rings. Once. Twice. A recorded message picks up. You've reached the Harborview County Sheriff's Office. For emergencies, dial 911. For non-emergency. Hank hangs up. Laura's face is white. That's the sheriff's direct line. Why is it in your phone under maintenance? I don't know. Keen set up the contacts. He said to use fake names. But I never called that number. I didn't even know it was there. Hank stares at the phone. Mercer's number. Hidden in the contacts. The hidden phone buzzes. A blocked call. Hank answers. Doesn't say anything. A man's voice. Tight. Urgent. Mr. Walker. Don't go home. Don't go to the sheriff. Don't trust anyone you talk to today. Meet me at the Route 2 diner. 30 minutes. Come alone. Bring the phone. Who is this? Keen. And I know you just walked into the sheriff's office. That was a mistake. Now move. The line goes dead. Hank looks at Laura. How does he know your name? Laura whispers. How does he know we went to Mercer? Chapter 7. The Investigator. The Route 2 diner sits at the edge of town where the highway meets farmland. 24-hour service. Truckers and insomniacs. Hank and Laura walk in at midnight. The place is half empty. A man sits alone in the back booth. 30s. Short hair. Sharp eyes. He waves them over. Keen, he says. Doesn't offer a handshake. Sit. Hank slides in across from him. Laura sits beside Hank. Keen's hands are flat on the table. Not relaxed. Controlled. Like he's holding himself still on purpose. You've been following my wife, Hank says. I've been keeping her alive. Keen's voice is low. Urgent. Which is more than I can say for you. Walking into Mercer's office with that phone in your pocket. Do you have any idea what you just did? I reported a break-in. You painted a target on your back. Mercer made a call 30 seconds after you left. I intercepted it. You're not safe. Neither of you. Laura leans forward. You said local law enforcement couldn't be trusted. You didn't say Mercer was part of it. I didn't know for sure until tonight. Now I do. Mercer's number is in your phone because someone put it there. Not me. Someone who wanted a backup plan. Someone who wanted leverage if you talked. Who? Hank asks. I don't know yet. But I know what we're dealing with. A pill diversion ring running through this county. Clinics. Pharmacies. Nursing homes. Pills go missing. Get sold. Overdoses pile up. Tyler Brennan was the 6th kid in 3 months. The youngest. That's when the state started paying attention. Keen pulls out a folder. Thin. Dog-eared. He slides it across the table. This is what Laura's been documenting. Shipping records. Inventory discrepancies. Names. The ring is small but efficient. Maybe 10 people. A few doctors writing fake prescriptions. A pharmacist who looks the other way. A distributor who moves the pills. And someone at the top who decides who gets paid and who gets silenced. Mercer, Hank says. Maybe. Or maybe Mercer just takes orders. Either way, he's dirty, and now he knows you have the phone. So what do we do? Laura asks. Keen hesitates. You disappear. Tonight. I get you into protective custody. State police. FBI. You testify. We build a case. But you don't go home. You don't talk to anyone. You let me handle this. And if we don't, you die. Maybe tonight. Maybe tomorrow. But soon. Hank looks at Laura. Her face is pale but hard. Determined. I'm not running, she says. Laura. I'm not running. I started this. I'm finishing it. Keen shakes his head. This isn't about pride. It's about survival. It's about Tyler Brennan and the kids who'll die next month if we don't stop this. Hank's phone buzzes. A text from Rick. Where are you? Need to talk. Urgent. Hank shows Keen the screen. Rick Donnelly. Retired cop. Friend of mine. I told him about the phone this afternoon. Keen's face goes cold. What exactly did you tell him? That I found a second phone. That Laura met someone with a badge. Did you tell him where the phone was? No. Did you tell him you were going to Mercer? No. Why? Keen takes out his own phone. Shows Hank a photo. Rick Donnelly standing outside the sheriff's office. Talking to Mercer. 30 minutes ago. Hank's stomach drops. Rick? Rick Donnelly retired from the sheriff's department 5 years ago. He's been on Mercer's payroll ever since. Low level. Muscle when they need it. He's the one who threw the rock through your window. He's the one who broke into your house. He's been texting you all night to figure out where you are. Hank stares at the photo. Rick's face. Smiling. Talking to Mercer like they're old friends. He's been lying to me, Hank says. He's been using you. You told him about the phone. He told Mercer. Mercer sent him to get it back. When that didn't work, they tried scaring you. Now they're escalating. Hank's phone buzzes again. Another text from Rick. Hank, call me. Please. It's about Laura. Keen reaches across the table. Don't answer. Don't call him back. Rick is not your friend. He's a threat. Laura looks at Hank. Rick's the one who grabbed me. In the parking lot. I couldn't see his face, but I recognized his voice. Hank feels sick. Rick. Bowling League Rick. VFW Rick. The guy who loaned Hank tools and bought him beers and listened to him complain about his marriage. All of it a lie. Why? Hank asks. Why would Rick do this? Money. Fear. Control. Take your pick. Keen stands. We're leaving. Right now. Out the back. My car's parked behind the dumpster. We're going to a safe house. Federal agents are on their way. By morning, this is out of our hands. Hank doesn't move. If we run, Mercer wins. He covers his tracks. Destroys evidence. Blames someone else. Laura's work means nothing. If you stay, you're dead. Then we make sure the evidence gets out first. Hank looks at Laura. The phone. You said there's a micro SD card. We copy it. Send it to the feds. The press. Everyone. Then it doesn't matter what Mercer does. Keen shakes his head. You're not thinking straight. I'm thinking Mercer wants the phone because it's the only copy. If it's not, he loses leverage. Laura nods. Hank's right. We copy the card. Upload it. Then we disappear. Keen stares at them. You're both insane. Maybe. But we're not running. Hank's phone buzzes. Rick again. I'm at your house. Where are you? But why is Rick still texting from a burner? Chapter 8. The warehouse fire. Keen doesn't get a chance to argue. Headlights sweep across the diner windows. 2 sheriff's cruisers pull into the lot, blocking the exits. Back door, Keen says. Now. They run through the kitchen. The cook yells something. Keen shoves through the emergency exit. The alarm screams. They burst into the alley. Snow falls harder now, thick and blinding. Keen's car is parked behind the dumpster. A plain sedan. They pile in. Keen starts the engine. Backs out fast. A cruiser swings into the alley behind them. Lights flashing. Hold on, Keen says. He floors it. The sedan fishtails on the snow. Straightens. Keen takes a hard right onto a side street. Then left. Then right again. The cruiser falls back. Loses them in the maze of residential blocks. Keen drives south. Away from town. Toward the harbor. Where are we going? Hank asks. Somewhere they won't look. Not yet. The warehouse, Laura says. Pier Road. The one in the photo. We go there. Copy the card. Upload it. Then we run. Keen glances at her in the rear view. That's the worst idea I've ever heard. It's the only one we have. Keen doesn't argue. He turns toward the harbor. The warehouses line the waterfront like rusted teeth. Most are abandoned. A few still operate in summer when the tourist boats run. In winter, they're empty. Dark. Keen parks behind a shipping container. Kills the lights. They sit in silence, listening. No sirens, no engines, just wind and water, and the creak of old metal. The micro SD card, Keen says. Where is it? Laura pulls the phone from her coat, opens the back, pops out the tiny card, hands it to Keen. He plugs it into a small reader, connects it to his laptop. The screen glows blue in the dark car. Encrypted, he says. Strong. This'll take time. How long? 20 minutes. Maybe more. Hank looks at the warehouse, the one from the photo. Concrete floor he installed 6 years ago. He remembers the job. Hot summer. Bad ventilation. The owner paid in cash. Someone's coming, Laura whispers. Headlights in the distance, moving slow. Searching! Get out, Keen says. Into the warehouse. Hide. I'll lead them away. When the upload's done, the laptop will ping your phone. Then you run. You can't. I'm not asking. Move. Hank and Laura get out. Run toward the warehouse. The side door is chained, but the chain is old. Rusted. Hank kicks it. Once. Twice. The chain snaps. They slip inside. The door swings shut behind them. Darkness. Absolute. Hank pulls out his phone. Uses the flashlight. The beam cuts through dust and shadows. The warehouse is bigger than he remembers. Open floor. High ceiling. Stacks of pallets along the walls. Old machinery covered in tarps. Laura grabs his arm. Turn it off. They'll see the light. Hank kills the flashlight. They stand in the dark, breathing hard. Outside, tires crunch on gravel. Doors slam. Voices. Saw them go in. Bring the can. Mercer wants this clean. Footsteps. Multiple. Getting closer. Hank and Laura move deeper into the warehouse. Hands outstretched. Feeling their way. They duck behind a stack of pallets. Press themselves flat against the wood. The side door opens. Flashlight beams sweep the floor. Spread out, a voice says. Rick's voice. Hank's chest tightens. Rick is here. Rick is hunting them. 3 beams. 3 men. Moving through the warehouse, checking corners. Behind machinery. Under tarps. Hank feels Laura's hand find his. Squeeze tight. One beam swings toward the pallets. Stops. Moves on. Not here, another voice says. A deputy Hank doesn't recognize. Check the office, Rick says. Upstairs, 2 beams move toward the metal staircase at the back. The third stays on the floor, sweeping. Searching! Hank's phone vibrates. Loud. Too loud. The beam snaps toward them. There, Rick runs. Hank and Laura bolt. They sprint toward the far end of the warehouse, toward the loading dock doors. Stop! Rick yells. Hank doesn't stop. He slams into the loading dock door. It's locked, chained from the outside. They're trapped. Rick's beam finds them, pins them against the door. He walks closer, slow, deliberate. A gun in his other hand. Hank, Rick says. His voice is calm, almost sad. You shouldn't have run. Mercer just wanted to talk. Work something out. But you made it messy. You broke into my house. I was trying to help you. Get the phone back before Mercer got serious. But you wouldn't listen. You grabbed Laura. Threatened her. Rick shrugs. That was business. Nothing personal. Business. Hank's voice shakes. Tyler Brennan was 14. Tyler Brennan was a stupid kid who took pills he shouldn't have. That's not on me. You helped kill him. I helped make money. Big difference. The other 2 men come down the stairs. Circle around. 3 guns. No way out. Then Hank smells it. Gasoline. Faint at first. Then stronger. One of the deputies is pouring it. Splashing it across the floor. The walls. The pallets. What are you doing? Laura asks. Rick doesn't answer. He just watches. The deputy empties the can. Sets it down. Pulls out a lighter. Mercer wants this clean, Rick says. Warehouse fire. Tragic accident. 2 bodies. The phone burns with them. Problem solved. People know we're here, Hank says. Keen knows. Keen's gone. Ran when we showed up. He's not coming back for you. The deputy flicks the lighter. The flame dances. He drops it. Fire erupts. Fast. hungry. The gasoline ignites in a wall of orange. Heat slams into them. Smoke fills the air. Rick and the deputies back toward the exit. "Sorry, Hank," Rick says. "Really? You were a good guy." They leave. The door slams. A chain rattles. Locks. Hank and Laura are alone. The fire spreads, climbs the walls, eats the pallets. Thick black smoke chokes the air. Laura coughs, covers her mouth. The loading dock doors. "Can you break the chain?" Hank looks. The chain is heavy, industrial. He pulls, kicks. Nothing. The fire roars. The heat is unbearable. His lungs scream. Then he remembers. The office upstairs. There was a crowbar. He saw it 6 years ago when he worked here. Left behind by the previous crew. "Stay low," he yells over the flames. "Follow me." They crawl. The smoke is thicker near the ceiling. They stay on their bellies, inch toward the metal staircase. The stairs are hot. The metal burns through Hank's hands. They climb, fast. The office door is open. Inside, the air is clearer. For now, Hank scans the room. Tools, papers, and yes, a crowbar, leaning against the wall. He grabs it. They go back down. The fire has reached the stairs. Flames lick the railing. Hank swings the crowbar at the loading dock chain. Once, twice. The chain holds. He swings again. Harder. The chain snaps. He pulls the door open. Cold air rushes in. They fall out onto the loading dock. Into the snow. Sirens. Close. Getting closer. Blue and red lights. Not cruisers. Fire trucks. State police cars. Keen's sedan is parked at the edge of the lot. He's talking to a man in a suit. Federal agent. Keen sees them. Runs over. "You're alive." Barely. Hank coughs. His lungs burn. His hands are blistered. Mercer's gone. Ran when he heard the feds were coming. Rick and the deputies are in custody. The upload finished. The evidence is everywhere. News. FBI. State police. It's over. Laura collapses into the snow, crying, shaking. Hank kneels beside her, puts his arm around her shoulders. The warehouse burns behind them. Flames reach toward the sky. Black smoke blots out the stars. But they're alive. Can he save her and still expose the truth? Chapter 9. The town turns. The hospital releases them at dawn. Minor smoke inhalation. First-degree burns on Hank's hands. Bandaged white. They'll heal in a week or two. Federal agents take their statements in a small room with a recorder on the table. Hours of questions. Names. Dates. Details. Laura hands over everything she remembers. Hank confirms what he saw. The warehouse. The fire. Rick. The guns. The gasoline. By noon, the arrests start. Sheriff Mercer is caught trying to cross into Pennsylvania. State police pull him over at a way station outside Erie. He doesn't fight, just smiles and asks for his lawyer. Like he knew this was coming. Like he's already 10 steps ahead. Rick Donnelly folds fast, gives up names, dates, payment records, bank accounts, drop locations. He talks for 6 hours straight, trying to save himself. The federal prosecutor tells him it won't work. The charges are too heavy. Conspiracy, arson, attempted murder. He's looking at 20 years minimum. By evening, the net widens. 2 doctors, a pharmacist, a clinic administrator, a county health inspector who looked the other way for cash. All arrested, all charged. The news runs footage of them in handcuffs. Faces covered. Lawyers shouting, "No comment!" The local news runs the story. Then the regional stations. Then CNN picks it up. Small-town corruption. Opioid diversion. A brave whistleblower. A husband who wouldn't give up. A near-death warehouse fire. The anchor calls it a David and Goliath story. Hank watches the coverage from the hotel room the feds put them in. He doesn't feel like David. He feels tired, burned, hollow. Laura sits beside him, staring at the screen, not saying anything. The federal prosecutor tells them not to give interviews. Keep quiet until the trial. Let the evidence speak, so they stay silent. But the town doesn't need interviews. The town already knows. Hank goes to the grocery store 3 days later. Needs milk, bread, normal things. People stare, whisper. A woman he's known for 10 years turns her cart around when she sees him in the cereal aisle. walks the other way without a word. At the hardware store, the clerk rings him up without making eye contact. No small talk. No, "How's it going, Hank?" Just silence. Hank pays. Leaves. Feels the stairs burning into his back. At the diner, the hostess hesitates before seating them. Puts them in the back corner, away from the windows, away from the other customers. Like they're contagious. Laura orders coffee. The waitress brings it. Cold. Half full. No apology. No smile. "They hate us," Laura says quietly. "They hate you," Hank corrects. "You're the one who talked. I'm just the idiot who married a snitch." Laura's face goes tight. "Is that what you think?" "No, but that's what they think." They finish their coffee in silence. Leave cash on the table. Don't wait for change. Walking to the truck, someone has keyed the passenger door. Fresh. Still wet. The word traitor scraped deep into the paint. Hank doesn't say anything. Just gets in. Drives home. The house feels different now. Empty. Cold. Like the walls know what happened. Like the floor remembers the hidden phone. Like the silence has weight. Hank fixes the broken window. Replaces the board that squeaked. Sweeps up the last pieces of glass. Tries to make it normal again. Tries to pretend the last few weeks didn't happen. But it's not normal. It'll never be normal. Their son calls from Cleveland. Asks if they're okay. Hank says yes, even though it's not true. Their son says he saw the news. Asks if they need money. Hank says no. The call lasts 3 minutes. Ends with "love you," and an unspoken relief that the son is 200 miles away. Their daughter doesn't call at all. Weeks pass. Hank tries to work. He has a flooring job lined up. A new build-out near the highway. The contractor calls 2 days before the start date. Says they found someone else. Says the owners got nervous. Says it's nothing personal. Hank doesn't argue. Just says, okay. Hangs up. He tries another contractor. Same story. And another. And another. Word has spread. No one wants to hire the man who helped take down the sheriff. No one wants to be associated with the couple who broke the town's silence. Laura goes back to the county health department for 1 day. The administrator calls her into his office, says they're restructuring, downsizing. Her position is being eliminated. Severance pay. 2 weeks. Clean out your desk by Friday. She doesn't cry until she gets to the truck. Hank holds her in the parking lot. Doesn't say anything. There's nothing left to say. They testify in front of the grand jury. The prosecutor is confident. Sharp suit. Polished smile. The evidence is overwhelming, he says. Mercer will go to trial. Rick will plead guilty. The others will take deals or fight and lose. Either way, justice will happen. But justice doesn't pay the mortgage. Justice doesn't make the neighbors wave. Justice doesn't undo the word traitor scratched into their truck. One night, Hank can't sleep. He goes to the bedroom, opens the repaired floorboard. The space where the phone was hidden. He doesn't know why, just needs to see it. Confirm it's empty. Confirm it's over. It is empty. Except for a tiny piece of paper, folded tight, wedged in the corner where the board meets the joist. Hank pulls it out, unfolds it. A receipt from a copy shop in Cleveland, dated 2 days before Laura first told him about the phone. For a micro SD card duplication service. $12. Paid in cash. Hank stares at the receipt. His mind races. Someone made a copy. Before Laura hid the phone. Before Hank found it. Before any of this started, someone duplicated the evidence and left a receipt behind. But who? Who removed what was left behind? Chapter 10. The new message. Spring comes slow. Ice melts off the lake. The harbor opens. Boats return. The town wakes up from winter. But for Hank and Laura, the cold never really leaves. They sell the house in April. Can't afford the mortgage without work. Can't stand the stares from the neighbors. Can't live in a place where everyone sees them as traitors. They rent a small apartment near Sandusky, 30 minutes from the old town. Far enough to breathe, close enough for the trial. Hank finds work installing floors for a big chain store. Anonymous work. No small talk, no history. Just measurements and nails and getting paid by the hour. It's not the life he built, but it's a life. Laura takes an online job. Data entry for a company in Texas. She works from the apartment. Doesn't have to see anyone. Doesn't have to explain. They speak to each other more now. Real conversations. About what happened. About what they lost. About what they still have. It's not the marriage they had, but it's better. Honest. Built on truth instead of silence. The trial happens in July. Mercer fights. His lawyers argue evidence tampering. Chain of custody. Reasonable doubt. The jury doesn't buy it. Guilty on all counts. 22 years federal prison. Rick gets 15. The doctors and pharmacists get deals. Some prison. Some probation. Some cooperation agreements. The town moves on. New sheriff. New scandals. New gossip. Hank and Laura's names fade from conversation. They become a story people tell sometimes. The couple who took down Mercer. Remember that? In September, Hank gets a call from the federal prosecutor. The evidence phone is being released. No longer needed for appeals. They can pick it up from the courthouse. Hank drives down alone, signs the papers, takes the phone sealed in a plastic evidence bag. He brings it home, sets it on the kitchen table, stares at it. Do we keep it? Laura asks. I don't know. Feels wrong to throw it away, but I don't want to look at it. Laura picks up the bag, opens it, takes out the phone, turns it on. The battery is dead. She plugs it in. Waits. The screen lights up. Password prompt. She enters their address. It unlocks. Everything is still there. The photos, the texts, the voice memos, evidence of a life they don't live anymore. Then Laura notices something. The SIM card slot. It's open. Empty. The SIM card is gone, she says. Probably removed by the feds. Standard procedure. No. Look, she shows him. The slot has a card in it. But it's not the original. It's new. Shiny. No scratches. Someone replaced it, Hank says. Laura powers down the phone. Removes the card. Holds it up to the light. Standard SIM. No markings. She puts it back in. Powers on. Waits for it to connect to a network. It does. 1 bar. Weak signal. A text message comes in. Unknown number. You did good. Don't stop. Hank and Laura stare at the screen. Who is this? Laura types. No response. Another message arrives. An address. No name. No explanation. Just an address in Columbus. A law office. What does this mean? Hank asks. Laura's hands shake. Someone's watching. Someone knew we'd get the phone back. Someone wanted us to see this. Keen? Maybe. Or someone else. Someone who made the copy. Hank thinks about the receipt. The copy shop in Cleveland. The timing. 2 days before everything started. Laura, who knew you had the phone before I found it. She hesitates. Just Keen. And whoever he worked with. State investigators. Federal contacts. People I never met. Did you tell anyone else? Anyone at all? No, I couldn't risk it. Then who made the copy? Laura goes quiet, thinking. Then her eyes widen. The clinic administrator, Janet Morse. She was arrested with the others, but she had access to the health department files. She knew I was documenting things. She could have followed me, seen me hide the phone, made a copy before I even... Another text arrives. The fight isn't over. They're rebuilding. Smarter this time. If you want to finish what you started, come to the address. Alone. Bring nothing. Hank and Laura sit at the table. The phone between them. The message glowing on the screen. This could be a trap, Hank says. I know. We could ignore it. Let someone else fight. We did our part. We did. Laura looks at him. Her face is older now. Tired, but stronger. But Tyler Brennan is still dead. And if they're rebuilding, more kids will die. We can ignore it. Or we can finish it. Hank picks up the phone. Reads the message again. He thinks about the last few months. The stairs. The lost jobs. The word traitor on their truck. The way the town turned its back. The way justice felt hollow when it cost them everything. He thinks about the warehouse fire. The heat. The smoke. The moment he thought they'd die. He thinks about Rick's voice. That's just business. He sets the phone down. Looks at Laura. If we do this, we're in again. All the way. No going back. I know. They'll hate us more. The town. The county. Everyone. I know. We might not survive it this time. Laura reaches across the table. Takes his hand. Then we make sure the evidence survives. Even if we don't. Hank nods, picks up the phone, types a response. When? The reply comes fast. Tomorrow. Noon. Come ready. Hank and Laura sit in the quiet apartment. The phone on the table. The message waiting. Outside, the sun sets over the lake. The water turns gold, then orange, then dark. They don't speak. They don't need to. They've already decided. But who's pulling the strings this time?